Welcome to That's Hockey Talk. It's a beautiful night for hockey on YouTube. Joining us because our surprise is running late. How could you expect anything else? Gumpy's here, our Canadian friend, our pal of the pals, the lad of the lads, our north of the border friend, and of course, the man who made this all possible, the hockey aficionado, Pat McAfee. Pat, how you doing?
Hey, I'm great. I actually had the house all set up to watch right here on the big screen. Excited to watch That's Hockey Talk, my favorite hockey talk of all of the hockey talks.
Oh, you're
Because
too
this
kind.
show, every single year, tells me exactly. Oh, look at us. Hey, look at us. We're up there.
Hey, there we go.
We made it.
Yeah, hey, on the TV up there. So I was excited to watch. And then you said, obviously, the big surprise. You can't make it first night, of course. That's how things go. And I'm thankful to be here. I'm a big fan of the show, for real. And Gumpy, that intro, I mean, fucking history books, pal. Go ahead and put that one down as the dawning of a new day. Whenever Gumpy sings, beautiful things happen, pal.
He's the best in the biz, and people don't know he's got a voice like that, man, because he keeps it hidden. He stays in the back there in the shadows like I used to, and he just, every once in a while he has to let the pipes flex him a little bit.
We're talking hockey. Is that it, Gump?
That's it. That's the Kraken. Kraken's first season. We're fired up over here.
Hey, what will this show be tonight when the big special surprise comes? Will it be a preview of the season? Will it be preseason talk? Does preseason matter? I saw the Pens are good. That's awesome.
I'm gonna be honest. In my mind, preseason doesn't matter one bit unless you got like a stud rookie you're looking out for to make a team. But this show tonight is going to be a big time preview show for the season coming up. We're going to look at some of the stuff that happened in the offseason that maybe people forgot about. We're going to look at some good bets and some futures bets on FanDuel and some things we can lay some cash down on. We got Gumpy obviously hammered down, huge hockey guy, and we're basically just going to stall time until our surprise is ready to go.
Smart. Gump, what are some early lines you're looking at with the Kraken, pal, huh? What are the Kraken looking like this year?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of what they did in the draft there, or their expansion draft. I don't think they should have copied what Vegas did. They got a decent roster. If you could throw some cash on the Kraken to make the playoffs, you get some good odds on that one.
Couple good odds there, pal.
Hey, Pat, check this out. I got something for you. Bruce Brown hooked this up.
Wow.
That's right, folks. You're alive, but are you living? Go live with SeatGeek and save 15% off of any purchase for any NHL team you want. Maximum of $50, of course. But go ahead. It's right there. The link's in the YouTube description. It's right there.
Look at you, man. You have an ad before you have your surprise. This is good teasing. This is good hosting. This is good hockey talk.
We're working on it. I think our surprise is ready to go, so I think it's time we bring it in. As people know, AQ Shipley is a massive part of this show, but he's in the middle of trying to defend a Super Bowl championship.
He's not going to be here?
He's not going to be here till at least March, probably, if I had to guess, because I'm going to assume AQ is going to take the whole month of February off, too, because that's what he does. And we got hockey starting next week. It starts on Tuesday night of next week. We can't wait. We need to start rolling now. So, in the spirit of that, and in Pat being the gracious boss that he is, we got to thinking, and we came up with some ideas, and I looked at what some of the best GMs in the history of the game have done. They've gone out, and they've given their guys a chance to win. When there's a void in the lineup, when there's a scratch, when there's a guy banged up, they go out, and they pick someone up. So we went out, and we found a guy. He's a guy. He's got jam. He's got grit. He's got sandpaper. And this fucking guy can score. No. He ain't no bummer. This guy scored.
Who is it?
A Game 7 Stanley Cup winning goal.
What?
Okay? This ain't nothing to sneeze at. This is a Stanley Cup champion. We're replacing a Super Bowl champion with a Stanley Cup champion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Rupper. We got Rupper.
Yeah, boy. Right off the waiver wire. Thanks for claiming me, boys. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for showing up on time, Rupper. Great to have you.
You know what, man? First shift, and I'm already -1. First shift, -1 in the new season. I'll tell you what, man. I got to clean up my getting ready department. I told you guys I had a buddy that was gracious enough who's let me do some of these shows from his bar in Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. And I come in today. I didn't check the schedule. I didn't know it was trivia night. I didn't know it was fantasy football redraft night. I'm up there and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm down in his office in the cave of the Edinburgh Hotel bar, ready to do it. I apologize for being late. I'll be much more prompt next time.
It's awesome.
You're all good, man. You're in the middle of a move, and your life's hectic right now, and you're in Edinburgh, which is classic, just classic Western PA type stuff. That's my bad. In the intro, I forgot to mention that you're also the best analyst on NHL Network. Like, we got a real legit guy here. This is no bullshit, you know. Rupper, I'm fucking pumped. This guy's got stories out the ass. He's a Stanley Cup winner. He knows everybody in the biz. He's going to be able to get everyone on the show. This is a big move.
No, it's big, man. I'm excited to be with you guys here, man. It's been, it's been something that everyone's kind of like, and I talked to you about it, like everyone's getting there and they're doing their thing, right? And you guys have been doing it for a long time, been great at it, and been really a pioneer in a lot of ways. And like a lot of these players, I'm like, I just didn't feel the right mix. I just didn't feel the right mix. And I started watching you guys, and I watch Pat's show all the time, and I'm like, man, that'd be cool. I wonder what their hockey's like. I wonder what the hockey's like with these guys, and we're kind of building it here. So I'm pumped to be a part of it with you guys, and it was just good timing with Shipley being taken. He's got to defend it. You got to defend your championship, right?
Yeah, he'll be back at some point, and I hate to point out the obvious, but it's not just about collecting all the bald dudes with beards around here. Like you have a lot of talent and you got jokes and you're a funny guy. So we appreciate that as well.
No, man. Thank you guys. It's going to be a blast. We'll iron out the details here tonight and keep moving forward. It's going to be a blast.
All right. Hey, boys, have a good one. I appreciate you, Rupper. I can't wait to watch the show. You're on my TV, Rupp. You didn't know this. You're out there moving the whole bar around trivia night. Hope you did well. Obviously, big old fucking brain on you. Probably crushed it. You're up on the TV. I can't wait to watch. I'm a big fan of the show already. You're going to be a great addition, and thank you for doing this.
All right. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right,
thank you, Pat.
Hey, thank you.
Pat.
Hey, Gump.
Yes, sir.
Hand out some fucking futures winners tonight, bud. That's what you do.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Go hockey. Let's go Pens. Going to bring home Lord Stanley yet again. All right. Gino and Sid need to get healthy, and we're back on the ice. We got a young, scrappy bunch. We just beat the dog shit out of Buffalo. See you guys.
So here we go, boys. We're live. We're doing this live every week now. Are you ready?
I'm pumped, man. Yeah. Hey, how about he did the old Brady bunch. He looked up.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
classic. He always does. He tries to get AJ to play along in his show, and AJ's like, which way? Which way? Oh,
it's so good.
But hey, let's get right into this tonight. The biggest storyline of the offseason is Jack Eichel and the Buffalo Sabres and what a mess it's become. And Rupper, you were on top of this today. I think Darren Drager gave out an update. What's going on with Eichel? Can you give everyone listening, because I know there's a lot of new hockey fans and people who don't even care about hockey who are just here to see a show in the chat. If you could let them know, just kind of give us a brief background on the Eichel situation in Buffalo. We know they stripped him of the captaincy. He was the captain. He was supposed to be the next guy, young superstar, come in and save the franchise. That hasn't quite worked out, so they stripped him of the captaincy. They're looking to trade him, but it's an injury situation. Can you kind of fill us in on what the hell's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a mess, and it's something really unique that we haven't seen in other sports, or at least we don't hear about it publicly. And I think that's the problem here. It's like, so Jack Eichel had a neck injury, right? And he missed that time last year in this offseason. It's trying to decide what he wants to do. Team docs are recommending X surgery, and he's gone. And like every player, you're allowed to get a second opinion, and you should. He went and there's other surgical options that he wants to go with, and he feels more comfortable with. And that's where there's a bit of a dispute here. The surgery, I think the Sabres, I think, want to do a fuse. They want to do some sort of spinal fuse, and he wants to do a disc replacement surgery. And they're not on the same page. And I think the Buffalo Sabres feel, hey, we've got whatever it is, $90 million tied up in this guy. Like, we got to fucking say in this. And Jack Eichel and a lot of the hockey guys around the globe and in the NHL are like, hold on a second. You're not telling me what surgery I need to get done. So they've been in this kind of standstill. And what it's done, though, it's gone public. It stripped down his trade value. They stripped the C off him, like you mentioned. And now here we are. Like this guy, he's never going to put on the Sabres jersey again. But now you have the Buffalo Sabres. They've got to fucking hit a home run here. You can't.
Hey, let me ask you this. Is this like a normal thing in a situation where as a player, like, is it encouraged to go get a second opinion when a team doc says something to you like, hey, we want you to get this surgery. Our guys are going to do it. Because normally I think everyone just assumes the player's just going to go do whatever the team says. But obviously there's a difference of opinion here. Is that encouraged to you as a player in the league? Are they like, hey, go get a second opinion. If they agree with it, we'll do it. Or we can kind of talk. Or is this like, I feel like this is the only time in recent history we've seen a dispute like this happen and especially go publicly.
Yeah, it's not brought up by the team. The team doesn't say to you, our doctors are saying this. Maybe you can go try to figure out some other plan of attack here. They don't really want that. They want their team doctors. That's who they pay. That's who they want to work with. But the Players Association works closely, and that's a lot of the stuff. There's the knee guys. There's a groin guy in Philly. There's the knee guy in New York City. There's a knee guy in Colorado, and you know who those guys are. So anytime you have an issue, you go get that a second opinion. You go get that third opinion. And with the collective bargaining agreement, you're allowed to do that. So what's happened here? It's like the Jack's not healthy. Jack can't play, and it's hard to trade a franchise player for what that team wants. Buffalo wants to get in return for a guy who's banged up. And the thing today, it was crazy. And we were joking around about it earlier. It's like this tweet by Darren Dreyer comes out, and it's like, oh, there's been a little bit of a change here. The other teams now are starting to be able to see his files, Jack's files. So maybe they're feeling more comfortable. I'm like, what the fuck? How are you fucking selling a house? Like, and you're not showing pictures. Like, who's gonna buy that? You know what I mean? Like, I go on Realtor.com or Zillow. I want to see fucking pictures. Like, I don't want to go just sit there and be like, wow, this sounds good. No, man. And so I don't really know if this is like a ploy just to get the attention off how bad this whole situation has gotten. But nonetheless, man, we want to see some resolution here. It's got really ugly in Buffalo.
What
that's
do
like
you think?
Look at Gumpy's spot right now. If he was trying to rent that place out and he sent pictures of somebody, they'd be like, a serial killer lives here. There's nothing on the walls. There's no furniture. There's no decorations. This guy's mad.
Hey, Rupper, this guy won't get me a goddamn housewarming gift. I've been here for a fucking year. Won't get me a damn thing, Rupper. What are you thinking if you're a veteran guy in Buffalo, Rupper? Like, get me out of here, or let's try and figure this out.
Oh, man, that's tough. I mean, if you're a veteran guy and you know that Jack's not there anymore, there's no, like, this is not something that you could turn around. I mean, you're a veteran guy there. Like, you're trying to play yourself out of there, probably by trade deadline time. So it's a tough spot, man. The Buffalo Sabres got to do a reset. They need to start from ground zero, and I guess getting rid of Jack Eichel, if they can do it and get the right assets in return, is, I guess, the best way they could do it.
Hey, on that note about getting out of there, story came up today about Phil Kessel, the American icon, the hero. Apparently now there's talk of trading him, where the Arizona Coyotes all summer long just gutted their entire team and got rid of anyone who was worth any value, traded everyone away. They're burning it down to the ground, and they're rebuilding from scratch, basically. Why didn't they try and move Kessel already? Why is this just coming out now with the season starting? Like, I know he's not the player he once was, and he doesn't command the same value, but I feel like you could have gotten some picks for him in the last draft. Or is this because he's in the last year of his deal and, okay, we can look ahead now and try and get some picks for next year? Or did they want to try and keep selling some tickets so they had to keep someone around? I don't really understand. The timing doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. I'm not sure if maybe Phil got to the point now where he's going to the team and he's like, hey, guys, like, we're in a rebuild here. I want to go win. I want to go play. He's in the last year, like you mentioned, of his deal. So if he can sit there and they can showcase him or trade him and he can play, I mean, you might see Phil Kessel on a couple teams this year if he gets traded early here, and maybe depending on what team he goes to, if it's a bubble team to get in, and they might flip him again before the trade deadline. So I still think Phil's got something in him. It's got to be in the right situation. I don't think he's a driver. He's a complimentary guy. But Arizona, I'll tell you what, we went from Buffalo to Arizona. It's going to be a battle who's going to be the cellar dweller in the NHL this year, because both those two teams are going to be really bad.
Are we bringing him back to Pittsburgh? I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I don't know if there's room for him, but like, we got guys banged up. Like, bring Phil the thrill back.
A lot of fans would want that, right? You got to hold on to those. He was awesome. I mean, they don't win those cups. They don't win those cups without Phil Kessel. They really don't. And I don't see it happening. No, I think that that ran its course, and Phil probably end up going somewhere else. And it sounds like he wants to go to a contender, and we'll see if a contender will jump to it. The interesting thing with him, though, is his cap hit, I think, is $8 million, but I think his actual dollars is only $1 million. So depending on some markets that possibly have a little bit of room, maybe some owners in smaller markets who want to kind of count, nickel and dime it a little bit, might be like, hey, we only actually have to pay him $1 million. That's a good deal, I think.
Which is why it makes sense for him to stay in Arizona, I thought, because they're like a team that is always in financial limbo. Like no one really knows what's going on because of the ownership and the arena situation. So it would make sense to me to not try and rush that guy out the door, sell some tickets, and only have to pay him $1 million. But let me see if I can get this to work here. This is about the only bright spot for the Coyotes this season. They're bringing back these retro jerseys. Look at these things; they look beautiful.
Yeah, those things are unbelievable, right? And the reason why I said he's good, that's their last star remaining right there. I think that's Jacob Chikrin, and he's the last one there. So we'll see how long he ends up staying out there in the desert. But I love those. I don't know what you guys think, but I think back in the day with Keith Kachuk wearing those, Jeremy Roenick. I mean, those were some nice jerseys with the white out there.
Gumpy, you remember these tarps?
What's that?
Oh yeah, they were beauties. When Kachuk was going with the Coyotes, they had a squad, man.
Yeah, they did. They did, man. They had I mean, you think back then they had some tough teams out there. They had some skilled teams out there. Remember Nikolai Abibulin was unbelievable for them.
Bulin.
Yeah. So I'm glad. Hey, you know what? They know that they're going to be bad. They're like, let's bring back the fucking Kachinas all the time because we got to get some hype around the team before the season starts.
Hey, when you played a goalie like that, like Hobby Bulin or like Lundqvist or like Patrick Waugh, these noted like big time guys that had that kind of aura, like, oh boy, this is gonna be a tough. Like, were you feeling that going into the game or like before the game and warm ups? Or you're like, oh, I got to get in this guy's kitchen. Did that ever like get in your head at all, or was it like, fuck it, I'm going out, I'm 100% and just giving them all I got, firing a wrist or top shelf?
I didn't. You know what, man? I didn't play any different. I wasn't that type of player who's going to be like, well, what am I going to do when I get open and I get in the slot? I'm going to give him this one. Cause no, man, I'm just shooting to where I think I can get him to move to and try to shoot where he's not. So I didn't do that, but there's players, they got books on the guys. They study the guys, the goaltenders study them. But a lot of those guys, I think the biggest thing is I just figured, hey, I'm a big body. I'm going to go try to take his eyes away. Just get in front of the net. Just got to get some ugly, greasy goal. And that's the only way you can kind of go at those guys.
Hey, something else that popped up over the offseason, and if you were watching the playoffs last year, everyone saw it, all these cross checks, right? And it's kind of like the NFL now is doing a point of emphasis. We talk about it all the time on Pat's show about taunting, where taunting penalties have always been on the rule books, right? But this point of emphasis basically encourages referees in the NFL games to look out for it now, maybe call it more than they would have before, and really emphasize it, right? So the NHL is kind of doing a similar thing where I guess now there's a mandate, they're calling it, on cross checks. Have you heard anything about this? It was kind of like up in the air. Would it happen? Will it happen in the offseason? Seems like it did. Seems like word got out that like, hey, let's crack down on the cross checking in front of the net, because that shit can be dangerous. You catch something in the lower back. Like, did you get in any battle? I'm sure you've been in 1,000 battles in front of the net. Tell me about the mandate, and then talk to me about what it's like battling in front of the net with other grown-ass men. Like, what are you, 6'4", 6'5"? You guys are monsters.
Yeah, so you know what? Yeah, they're cracking down on it. I think what we saw in the playoffs. You guys remember when who was that? That was Scott Mayfield was delivering the cross checks. Who was that? Was that?
Yeah, he hit Crosby in the back of the head.
Dude, he was dishing them out to everybody all playoffs. And who was it that he
Kucherov.
He was Kucherov, right?
Yeah, he knocked him out.
Knocked him out and busted his ribs up and whatever. And Kucherov, I think, missed a little bit there. And I mean, it was ridiculous. That's how you got to play those guys, I think. But they're allowed to do that come playoff time, and I think that they need to correct that. I think you should still be able to protect the front of the net with cross checks, but just giving cross checks just to knock a guy down, give him another one, give him another one, give him another one because he's a star. They got to move away from that. This league's changed too much. It's gotten too skilled. I want to see those guys scoring goals. I'm not saying, hey, give them a free pass, let them go right to the net. No, fuck that. Like, make them pay a price to go there. But there's a lot of spots on the ice where cross checks are happening way too often.
And see, that's wild coming from you, who, like you said, you were a bottom six player, who grinded your way through the lineup and you kind of made a living in board battles and stuff like that. So like most of the time when guys go on TV or they do analyst work, they're like, oh, that's good, clean stuff, blah, blah, blah. The old Don Cherry business. It's like, it's nice to hear a guy who did a little bit of that when they were playing come out and say, hey, look, we don't really need to go that far with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's unnecessary, right? I mean, sometimes when you're dishing out these cross checks, it's like, it's not. I think now you got to make guys actually defend, right? Like make them defend. Like remember in the NBA back in, I want to say it was like the 90s, they used to do like, I think you used to be allowed to have two hands on the back or two, like you're allowed to have two hands on the back. Then they changed it and they're only allowed like forearms on the back. And they want you to you just defend the guy, use your legs, get in front. You got to move. And I feel like in hockey sometimes over the years, yeah, it's been great and it's worked for me. And as far as using your stick to your advantage, but man, it's I want to see people try to chase Connor because they can't catch him, and he's going to score even more goals. So I think that's try to take away as much of that obstruction as you can.
Gumpy was crying about the NBA today during Hammer Down. He said, I think I'm done with it, pal.
I'm done with it. Don't need it. You go back to the clutching and grabbing. Remember Darian Hatcher that ruined his career? It literally did. He was unbelievable for Dallas Stars. Goes to the Red Wings. They changed the rule. I think maybe he was on the Flyers.
Yeah.
That was it. He couldn't do it anymore.
You know what, Gumps? It was funny because that was the same time. So that was the we're not going with Gumps. Is that not?
No, I love it. It's like,
look,
this is how I know you're the ultimate hockey guy.
That's good.
Guy's already got a nickname.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know.
Drop it and change it.
It's always adding ER, and I thought Gumper sounded pretty lame, so I went with Gumps. Like, all right, we go with whatever.
We already got a Rupper.
Gumps. So, anyways, so back in 05, they changed the rules. I was a centerman, and for the people that watch, obviously the centerman defensive zone, you're down below the goal line, you're down low coverage with the defenseman. So you almost play the same role as a defenseman in that part of the ice, right? Like defensemen skate backwards pretty much everywhere else on the ice. Centermen don't, but in the defensive zone, very similar to some degree. I got into the league being a defensive center that was big, and I could skate well for my size. So I was able to get down in those trenches and I could skate with guys, but they also could, if they beat me, I had the long enough reach to, the guys would beat me out of the corner, a smaller guy, and he go shoot the puck and I just take the stick blade and I just push the back of his elbow and he just won't, the puck would roll off his stick. You could do all those things. I had a long reach. I got away with it. They changed the rules. I had to change my position. I couldn't play center anymore. So I was like, they changed the rules. I started playing center after the lockout. And I'm like, this is different, man. I'm not a lockdown guy anymore. Like, I'm going to get played out of this league unless I go play wing. I switched to wing and I had to learn it differently because, those guys like Hatch and all those big boys, you had to learn differently. And the ones that couldn't adjust, man, they got left in the dust.
That's awesome hearing you say that you came in as like a big guy. So that they're putting you in the center position to lock it down. And I know you know why that is, because this guy right here. Because this big boy right here.
It wouldn't have mattered with that guy, though. I mean, you're talking Mario is like the size and the strength that guy had. I think I only played preseason against him. I don't think we crossed paths. Thank God. Thank God. First of all, I would never have been on the ice with him. If I was on the ice with him, it would have been a huge mistake. Somebody would have, I probably wouldn't have played again. But, he was big enough and skilled enough. Like, he'll dance you, and you can get two guys on his back. You ain't going to take him down.
Well, it's fun. It was real because, like, he came in and then everybody started drafting big defensemen and big centers to try and emulate. You saw, like, the Lindrosses and the John LeClairs and the big power forward era. And then, like you mentioned, the rules change, the lockout happens. And then after that, everyone started to get smaller and faster. And now you look at, like, the Crosbys, the McDavids as the prototype. The Patrick Kanes is, like, the star players nowadays. Back then, those guys would have got eaten alive. And now they can dance a little bit.
No, they can. They can, and I think that's the crazy thing when you look at those little guys that drives it. Like, have you ever seen, if either of you ever seen Patty Kane take a big hit?
No,
I've never
can't
seen
touch
him
him.
take a big hit. You can't touch him. Who's another little guy that got? I've never seen Matt Barzal get hit.
Gaudreau.
Johnny Gaudreau never gets hit. Why don't these guys get hit? They're 5'6", 5'7", 5'8". They're 150.
That's what I'm asking at home. I thought you would have some answers. What hit this fucking guy?
So this is the great part about it is like these guys were always small, right? So they know, they take inventory. Yeah, are they great passers? Johnny Gaudreau, Patty Kane, Matt Barzal, they can see and they know where everybody is on their team. That's why they're so good offensively, but they know where everybody is on the other team. They have to take inventory of everybody. They've had to do it since they're a kid to survive playing a physical game. Meanwhile, and this is the thing, I was a big kid growing up. I got away with shit that I shouldn't have gotten away with because I was bigger and stronger than everybody else when I was 12 and 14. So then you turn pro and then you're looking eye to eye with these guys. My vision on the ice wasn't anywhere near the little guys. Why? Because I didn't have to have vision. I could have my head down and a kid would run me at 15. Maybe we just stand each other up. Those guys couldn't do it. That's what's amazing. During those times when you think even back to those heydays where guys are big, strong, heavy defensemen, like you said, when they come in to defend Mario, how about all those little guys that still thrived? Like they thrived because they look around the ice. They knew everything that was around them. They never got hit.
Pavel Bure, Bure, man. The Russian Rock.
My favorite all time.
I don't think anybody ever flew like that guy ever. It was unbelievable to watch.
The best thing about him too, and I loved about Pavel is he was passionate about scoring. I don't know what you guys think. Like guys will say like, look like you've been there before. Like some guys will score and they're just, boom, just whatever. Guys will come over and they act like nothing. Pavel Bure was fist pumping and screaming every single one. I remember he got that goal 52 into the empty netter to make the game 4-1, and he's fist pumping and like I love that. It's like Ovi. Ovi the same way, and I love that about those guys.
Hey, you mentioned Barzal talking about one of the little guys. He was a restricted free agent this offseason. He signs his deal. A couple other guys out there had signed some deals. Let me see if I can pull this up here if it'll work again. There we go. Can you guys see that? Is that too little?
I can see it.
We got Matty Barzal right there. He signs a 3-year deal, $7 million per. That's a fucking great deal for the Islanders and them. Yeah. Patrick Laine was a big story. He signs the 1-year deal, 7.5. Elias Pettersson, the young stud in Vancouver, he re-ups for 3 years. And then we get down. Braden Point signs the deal. Everyone thought, what's going on with him? He ended up having just a monster playoffs and signs the long-term extension for big money. And then there were two guys here that I want to talk about in particular. Jesperi Kotkaniemi with the whole offer sheet drama, and Brady Tkachuk up in Ottawa. Let's start with Kotkaniemi, Rupper. We don't see offer sheets much in the NHL. We hear about it, but it's rare we see them or that they actually get pulled off or go through. That was a whole situation going back to when Montreal tried to offer sheet Sebastian Aho, who was the Carolina Hurricanes' best player. They submit the offer sheet. Carolina says, yeah, no fucking problem. We'll match that instantly. They match it. A couple years later, 2 years later, Carolina didn't forget. They see Kotkaniemi, who third overall pick, but young guy, still learning his way in the league. He's not quite at the status that Aho is yet. So he gets a 1-year offer for $6 million. He jumps all over that, says, I'm taking it. Montreal chooses ultimately not to match. I think it was the right move for Montreal, right? Don't you?
I do. It came at a really bad time because they already lost Philip Deneau, who ended up signing his UFA with the Los Angeles Kings. And this is a team that already isn't strong in the center ice position, right? So that's the one thing that made it really tough, though, on Montreal is that price tag for Kotkaniemi right now, it's rich. He's not bug in my face. He's not like he's not that yet. You know what I mean? Like he's not that type of player to make that kind of money. But they also know like they're really putting the boots to the Montreal Canadiens because they're already short-staffed at center ice position. Montreal's looking at it like, so they take the picks. Now if you're Carolina, I like it because you get a player in there that's going to certainly be motivated. He's going to be insulated on a really good team. And all you really did is you changed his QO. His qualifying offer now after this year is going to start slightly above that. So if you got a big, rich starting point, so it's really good for Kotkaniemi moving forward because he's getting paid more money and he's going to be paid more because of it down the road. But it was just funny watching the social media of the Carolina Hurricanes. Like,
they're so good, dude.
They've got a great social media game, but like, dude, it was getting a little much. And it's like they're just sending messages across the border into Montreal there. So it'll be interesting when those two teams match up, I think.
That's like Gumpy, though. You got to love that, right? Because the owner, you could tell it was driven by the owner. Tom Dunnan's like, hey, go fucking sign this guy and piss them off.
Where does Montreal go from last year though, Rupper? Like that Cinderella story, made it to the finals. What happens with this team? Like, what is considered a good season after that run, you know?
It's so hard because that team, like, what do you make of them in these last 2 years as far as we had two shortened COVID seasons, right? And let's look at it. Let's think back when they knocked out with it. That's when they knocked out Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, we
they
know.
knocked out Pittsburgh last year, right? Or the year before, I should say.
In the bubble.
In the bubble.
Bullshit.
Yeah, thank you. So what ends up happening is the rules are changed because of COVID. Montreal was the 24th team getting in.
Yeah, be there.
Playoffs are 18 teams, or sorry, 16. 16 teams, and has been forever, 8 and 8. Well, they opened it up to 24 because of COVID. And who's the 24 team? Montreal. They had no business even making it. So they get in there, they knock out the Penguins. They look really good. And then you go in that summer. And I remember thinking, I'm like, what's Mark Bergevin think here? Like, how do you address the team? That team was shit for more than half a year. And then they got going a little bit, sneak in because the rules kind of changed. And so what did they do last year? They were garbage again for a lot of the year. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't for the division realignment because of COVID and they're playing in the worst division, they don't make the playoffs again. You know what I mean? So, like, how do you really assess where they are? They make the Stanley Cup Finals. That's awesome, but I wouldn't be shocked if they don't make the playoffs. I don't think you guys would either, right?
No, we all know. Gumpy will still bang the drum for Les Habitants and pretend like he's an Avs fan.
All I said was don't let Carey Price get hot in the playoffs, and I beat that drum all the way till they died against Tampa Bay.
So you ride the Canadian team wave, or like what is your no? You don't do that? What do you think? Like that, everybody talks about it. Like when the last Canadian team is remaining in the playoffs. There's a group in like everyone's like, oh, you got to jump on board. We got to root for
what he did. It's what he did.
Nah, I was on it from the beginning. Right? So when I grew up, my dad played softball with Brad Palmer, who played for the Minnesota North Stars. He gave me his gloves when I was like 5 years old. So I'm a Dallas Stars fan till I die.
Okay. Well, no, so you don't. I hate that because like Canada's like, hey, we got to get behind the Leafs. Like, no, man, I live in Ottawa. No. I'm not getting behind.
Well, even from Victoria, like all my buddies are Vancouver Canucks fans. They hate the Leafs. Everybody in Canada hates the Leafs, but Toronto. Like they are not Canada's team, as far as I know, anyways. Being on the West Coast.
No, the Stars, but the Stars will be. But that's the same thing with them. We just talked about Montreal. Same thing with the Stars. They go to the Cup Finals. And now last year, it's like they don't look, they're a shell of themselves, although they had a ton of injuries and the COVID that screwed them up at the beginning. It's like, what are they going to be this year? Are they a playoff team? I don't know, man. It can go either way.
Hey, one more thing, because I want to dive into FanDuel Futures since we're talking about playoffs and playoff potential teams. But one more thing that happened kind of off-ice news just a couple of days ago, actually. Team Canada went ahead and named their 3 no-brainer picks basically to the team already. Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, and now it's Pietrangelo. Good picks, guys. We get it. Rupper, who's the next guy on that team?
What do you guys think about? Like, I heard Sweden's doing that. Like, everyone's doing this, right? They're naming their top. We're going to release 3 at a time. Like, we know that those guys are going to make it, right? Is it just me, or I kind of think it's stupid? Is it dumb?
I like when they used to put out the big group.
Yeah,
and like the large group, not like just the large group at a time, and give you the pool of who they're looking at, and maybe they'd practice together or something like that. I don't really do that much anymore.
No, they don't. This year we've been waiting a long time to get back to the Olympics in international play, because the last time was we had back even when you talk about the World Cup of hockey. Remember, that's the time when Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, all those guys were on Team North America. It was the Young Guns team. What was it, 23 and under, I think, or 24 and under, that team was. So they didn't, we never have seen Sid and Connor on the same team. We'll get to see that. So Connor, I'm sure, is going to be in that next grouping, however they figure this out. But that's the other part with that Jack Eichel, man. I wanted to see Team USA get down the middle, have Austin Matthews and Jack Eichel 1-2. And we don't know if we'll be able to see that, but they're going to be, it's fun. It's fun getting into that and playing those games where you're looking at these rosters, and there's going to be some great players left off of them.
Yeah, man. And it's a shame to see, like you said, Eichel, because like I'm big on Team USA's chances this year because I think this is the most potentially talented team they've had since what, probably like the mid 90s. And I'm not saying the other teams before that stunk, but there was definitely like they were top heavy. It feels like now it's like I feel like they can put together a solid lineup of at least the top 9 that could compete with any country.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about back with Team Canada, right? Like Canada always had the luxury of they built a hockey team where they had your top 2 scoring lines, you had your checking defensive oriented line, and you had a very solid defensively energy line. That's kind of been the thing in hockey forever, and you could say that the league teams are taking a different approach now, but I think the teams that are having success still do that. But Canada used to have, for example, let's go to Team USA. Team USA didn't have enough of a talent pool back in those days. They had to bring checkers to check in the Olympics. But Team Canada had the opportunity in the luxury of being like, all right, hey, Jerome McGinley, can we put you on our 3rd line? Can we put you on our 4th line? He's not a 3rd or 4th line guy. We know that. And when he's
But it worked.
They had Patrice Bergeron on the 4th line.
Yeah.
That's the next guy on the team, by the way.
When you've got that level of talent and you have them accepting different roles, being capable of playing those roles, but also those guys can plug in when someone's struggling up on a top line. You're in a good spot, and that's why Canada's always thrived. USA's finally getting to that point now where they could still build a hockey team, but they can compete talent-wise, at least in the neighborhood of Canada. Still think Canada's a little bit ahead of them. But now you can sit there and you can draft 4 center icemen that are number 1 centers on their respective teams. And that's something that US has come a long way with, and hopefully we'll get to see that.
All right, that's still ways away. What's that, in like February? We got some time there, so we'll be covering that all season long, sticking with that, giving you updates on the Olympic rosters and whatnot. For now, the NHL starts on Tuesday. Let's take a look at some of the bets we can lay down on FanDuel right now. I mean, starting right off, let's just get right into it. Stanley Cup champs. What are we thinking here, boys? Colorado 550, Tampa Bay to go back to back at plus 650. Golden Knights, can they get there again? Plus 700. And the Leafs. I did not expect to see the Leafs in the top 4 of the betting favorites, to be quite honest with you. I don't know what to think. Robert, what are your thoughts on Toronto? Because feels like every year, past couple of years, they load up and they got a team, but they just can't quite do it. They just choke.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, everyone, they tried to run Mitch Marner out of town this past offseason.
Oh, yeah.
I think Mitch Marner is just as valuable to that team as Austin Matthews, if not more, in my opinion, as far as the way he drives offense. But I don't know. I don't know what to make. How bad does it suck, though? Like, think about it from this standpoint. And Tampa had to do it before these last couple of seasons. To know that it doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. Yeah. Like that sucks, right? Like you can go out there and you can be like, boys, we dominated. I got a Hattie. Yep. Yeah. Gumps. You got a big fight for the boys. It doesn't matter. No one gives a shit what you're doing until playoffs. And you know what I mean? To play 82 games, to go at it like that. And it's just pressure all the time. You can't enjoy the game. I don't know. I thought this team was different last year. They didn't get it done. I don't know, man. I really don't know what to make of them. All I do know is if they fizzle out like they've been for a long time in that first round, it's time. Kyle Dubas, see ya. Yeah. It's time. You got to do something here because it's far too talented of a team to have these results or lack thereof.
How hard would it be for Tampa Bay to run it back 3 times, Rupper? Like that is insane. And everybody slept on them going back to back too. And the whole time I was sitting there going, they're getting their whole team back and they're healthy. They were literally playing possum at the end of the year, resting players.
Yeah. You know what, man? I think they win again. I really do. Like
they're so good.
Who's going to touch
They can't.
them?
I'm going against you. They can't do it.
How is Colorado favorite? Colorado cannot be the favorite. That is absurd.
So when I'm looking at these, you're looking at these futures, you're looking at the cup winners that you have right there on the screen. I don't know. Like none of those feel good to me except Tampa. And I'd probably maybe say Colorado. I mean, obviously those are the 2 favorites, but there's not like an intriguing one. Like do you have it there where you can go over to the division? Like this is where it gets interesting for me. when you start looking at the division winners.
I would say Boston, Rupper, but who knows what with Tuukka Rask, what's going on there?
No, yeah, we don't know about what's going on with Tuukka. There's a lot of question marks in the East. That's why I think the Florida Panthers are a team that I actually think has. I think Florida's that goes to the division winners. I think Florida wins the Atlantic Division, but I think Tampa wins the Cup. So probably play each other, I would guess, in the second round. And I don't know if Florida's there yet to beat Tampa, but I don't know, man. This is screaming Tampa still to me.
I like Florida. I actually thought they could upset Tampa last year in 7. They couldn't get it done. But Tampa, like I said, they've just played so much hockey over the past couple of years. I saw it happen with the Penguins where they go back-to-back, and in that third year, they still had a solid team going into the playoffs. They just couldn't they couldn't get it done. They finally succumbed to the Capitals, who finally get over the hump and go do their thing. I'm looking at the Islanders, man.
Yeah,
they were plus 1,600 to win the Cup. They're plus 800 here to win the division. Look at what all they did in the offseason. They re-signed Pelech to the big deal. They get Sorokin signed. They bring back Andy Green. Kyle Palmieri, they get him locked up. Anthony Beauvillier's taken care of. Casey Cizikas, I think people thought he was going to walk. Nope, he signed. Then they bring in Zdeno Chara, Big Z, who's still got some gas left in the tank. And fucking Zach Parise is going to join the team now. The team his dad played for, he's going to be fired up in a depth role. Like, he's going to be playing, third, fourth line minutes probably with them and power play stuff every once in a while. They're going to get Anders Lee back. Like, I hate it because they're one of the most boring teams ever to me as a Penguins fan, and they kick our ass in the playoffs. But they're loaded. They've only gotten better, and Trotz just does magic in the playoffs. He smothers teams.
I would agree with you, Nick, because you look at what tells you that Colorado or Vegas is going to do enough to get over the hump. There's nothing that tells me those teams are going to
Colorado let their goalie walk out the door.
Yeah. No, I think Vegas took a step back too. They're just going to be in the worst division. So Vegas is I think Vegas is going to be a little bit of fool's gold for the regular season because they're going to be beaten up on their division. I don't think Vegas is going to be as good. Colorado is they'll be in the hunt there, but it's tough, man.
Why are the Stars plus 1,200? That should be
that's juicy.
That should be plus 2,000. They should be with the Jets on a bounce back.
You know what, Gumps? What about they're going to corner the market and get every goalie available in free agent?
What the fuck do we?
They're like, hold on. Here's the deal. Everyone needs goalies. We're going to get them all. And now we're going to hold them, and we're going to get draft picks for all of them. Like, they got 4 goalies right now.
We're going to overpay Khudobin for one playoff run, and we got Ben Bishop fucking sitting around eating sunflower seeds all year.
I still think one of those goalies ends up in Pittsburgh before the end of this season.
You better hope, dude.
That could be a good call, man. I think
better
so.
hope. Jari ain't running his full season again.
Hey, this is what I'm surprised about right here, the Metro Division. The Islanders obviously the favorite with all they've done, but Pittsburgh still hanging around here, Rupper, at plus 400, even with the injuries, the Sid and Gino. Jeff Carter's basically going to be the number 1 line center. You guys 36 years old, still doing it. I know I said last year on this show, the Pens might be in trouble because of the realignment and the Bruins coming over, and they surprised me and went out and won the whole damn thing. This year, I think it's legitimate, even more so. Hey, they're a year older. They haven't really done a lot to address the depth issues. The goaltending's still the same. They haven't done anything there yet. I don't know, man. I look at Carolina. They're good again. The Caps are always good. The Rangers are an up-and-coming team. And the Flyers, I love what they did retooling the defensive core in the back end. This is a tough fucking division.
It is. And tons of question marks. And those question marks are scary because Philly could be really good if Carter Hart finds his game, gets back on track. They reinvented or redid their blue line. That could be a team to look out for. The Islanders are going to be good. I think New York Rangers got an opportunity to do something. I think New Jersey's going to be a tough team to play against. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but this might be the most hesitant I am on the Pittsburgh Penguins that I have been in. You're talking a real long time. I've always thought this team will be fine because of those guys they got. I don't know about them now. And, maybe that's exactly where they want everybody to be. you know. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah. You watch what you say. You play with those guys as your teammates. Someone saying bad about them.
But that team, as far as like on paper, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be challenging, and I'm excited to see how they handle it because I don't think you could ever count out. You can't count out Sid. You can't count out Gino. Getting them back is going to be huge. But Chris Letang, I mean, it's going to be tough though. I think on them.
You need a goalie, man. You need a goalie. Yeah. You can't trot out Jari all year again. You can't do it. In the playoffs, like if he didn't make those mistakes, you know, they're right there. They really are.
Hey, this next division here, we got the Atlantic here. My mouth's going crazy. Tampa, obviously the runaway favorite here at plus 165. Toronto, you got some juice at 220. The Bruins at plus 400. The Bruins lost some guys. They lose Krejci, who is like the anchor on that second line. You keep Taylor Hall, which is a plus. Can he sustain what he was able to do there after going there for the deadline? Now he's got the deal again. We know about the Taylor Hall curse where the team he leaves gets the number 1 overall pick. It's craziness. I don't know. And in Florida, who everybody's high on, but look, this is a tough division too. They're still sitting here at plus 500. And the Wings, of course, the Red Wings fucking stink.
Right. Look at right there too with Montreal. Like, does that not just say everything you need to know? Like, everyone's questioning Montreal, what they are, you know, and after going to the Stanley Cup Finals. But I don't know. I mean, when I'm looking at this from a hockey standpoint, I think the Florida Panthers, they've got a great chance of winning this division. Like, I
love
think
Spencer Knight.
Division. Yeah, no, they're loaded, man. And you see, and the thing I like about them too, they're getting gritty too. You see Sam Bennett last night running Bassey in preseason, just taking over where he left off when he got suspended in the playoffs for running around. That was the best playoff series against Tampa in the first round between them and Florida. And they've got those guys now. And those guys know. Sam Bennett knows. I'm going to throw gasoline on this matchup every single time on this fire. We need that. And I think this Florida Panthers team wins this division.
They legit hate each other. I love it.
What'd you say?
Who's going to be the starting goalie game 1?
Oh, that's a tough one though.
How many years they got left with old Big Bob?
A lot of money, But
and the only team who pays older goalies more than the Florida Panthers is the Calgary Flames.
That's true. You think it back when Luongo went back.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, those are some big. Listen, Sergei Bobrovsky, I think, is going to bounce back. I don't know if he'll ever be the 2-time Vezina winner that he was in Columbus. He'll be better, and maybe that's all they need. Maybe they just need him to be better. And Spencer Knight, maybe this is his time. Maybe he doesn't run away with it. Maybe they split. Maybe Spencer Knight's more of a 60-40 as far as percentage of games played. I don't know, but they're in a good spot. They got 2 good goalies.
Look, throw Spencer Knight into the fire. Let him run with it. I think he can handle it. The Central Division here, Gumpy's division with his Stars. Hey, the Minnesota Wild, I think, shocked some people last year. I think people had written them off. I've been saying for years that they were just the definition of mediocrity in the NHL. They could just never get over the hump. They were a solid team. They were never like a legitimately bad team, but they never had like superstar elite talent to get them over. They thought they were getting that when they signed Parise and Suter to those big deals years ago. They had some battles in the playoffs, but I don't think it was ever quite what they envisioned. They got it now with Kirill Kaprizov and getting him signed to that long-term deal. Like, that kid is a fucking stud, but they're still not even close to touching what Colorado's doing. How are we feeling about Minnesota here maybe making a jump?
I don't know if you guys see Kaprizov's Insta or any of his social media, but he's in that long slug it out, drag it out contract negotiation with the Wild this summer. And it's just showing him wakeboarding, just hanging out, like just living life, man. This guy just wants to play. He doesn't care. Pressure doesn't mean anything to him. He's the real deal. It's a great deal for them. It changes their whole team. So this Wild team, they're really surprising last year. They're not going to surprise anyone this year. I think it's going to be really tough on Kirill to kind of go with that clip he was last year because he's going to be a target now. You're going to go in there. You're game planning for 97. Like that's it. You're not game planning for anybody else for Minnesota Wild. But they'll be in the hunt. A team up here, again, you mentioned Dallas. They could be very good, but they also could be very bad. I don't know what to make of them. But the team that I think is going to don't sleep on in this division is Winnipeg. The Winnipeg Jets. Ooh. I think the Winnipeg Jets will be pushing Colorado all season long for that top spot. I don't know if they'll get it, but they're going to be right in the hunt there, especially if Connor Hellebuck plays to his capabilities.
The Blackhawks can't be this bad.
No.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
no way.
surprised by that,
That
too, man.
that
Right?
plus 2,000, I will sprinkle on that. Thank you very much. There's no way they're that bad.
Hey,
No,
Jonathan
they
Taves
got-
is back now.
Taves is
They
back. They
bring in
got
Seth
Flower.
Jones.
yeah.
They
And
got
they fucking
Flower.
stole Flower right from under us in Pittsburgh. We thought we were getting ready. We thought he was coming back. We were so pumped. And then the shock of the century, he goes to Chicago for nothing.
For nothing.
And
Nothing, man.
then they fucking spell his name wrong on his own jersey. They don't deserve him, Rupper.
Those guys know how to win too, though. Those guys know how to win. They've been there time after time. I would take a bet on the Blackhawks to make the playoffs.
I would too. I think they're going to push for that. That division, Colorado should be the favorite. After that, I like Winnipeg right there. As far as Dallas, St. Louis, Chicago, I mean, that's a wash for me. I mean, I think that the Chicago Blackhawks have just as good of a chance of being as good as St. Louis, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I like St. Louis still.
Yeah, Jordan.
They're right there in the mix. This
got to be better.
I keep looking at these thinking there's going to be one division where it's just like, okay, there's the easy winner. And a lot of these teams are good. So if you're new to the NHL watching this, I know there's a lot of people in the chat. Top 4 teams in each division are making the playoffs. So here you're looking at Colorado, Minnesota, Dallas, St. Louis, if we're going off just the betting favorites. And Rupper just said, he expects Winnipeg to compete with the Avalanche. So there's a nice sprinkle. We talked about the Blackhawks. They're a nice sprinkle. And maybe this is the division. Maybe this is the division where we get a little bit of separation between the top team and the bottom team, because the Golden Knights, it looks like it's going to be their playground with the Oilers and McDavid and Draisaitl doing their dance. And I don't think anyone knows what to make of the Kraken.
I'm bullish on Edmonton in this division.
Yeah.
I think Edmonton, if Mike Smith and all 41, 42 years of them can stay limber all year.
He was the goddamn backup for Marty Turco, Rupper. What year is it?
Oh, that's right. You remember him from back then, right?
Oh yeah, he was unbelievable.
That's how he learned to handle the puck so goddamn well from Marty.
You know what, man? It's like, hey, everyone loves him. The boys love him. They bring him back. They feel like that's not their problem. It hasn't been their problem. I just don't know. Like, this team, I think, has some potential to do some damage this year. Getting Zach Hyman was huge for this team. Don't sleep on them in this division too. I actually think they will finish higher than Vegas. Does that mean that Edmonton wins this division? I don't know what the other teams will do, but I think Edmonton finishes higher than Vegas in this division.
Bold claim. I don't hate it. We'll go over here and look at.
Do the Canucks stink?
Oh,
the Canucks can't be that bad, can they?
I didn't see where were they at? They're at the
Plus
bottom.
1,500.
Where'd they go? Here, they're way down the bottom.
Yeah. I don't.
Plus 2,000. Jesus.
They got that. I don't know about out there, buddy. You know how it is out there, man.
Oh yeah, I know.
Everyone talks about how tough Toronto is, man. It's tough to play out in Vancouver, I think, too.
Absolutely. They will turn on you at the drop of a hat, my friend.
I was looking through this earlier. This is the odds on each individual team to make the playoffs, and there was one I really, really liked that jumped out to me. And where's it at right now? Winnipeg, not bad here at minus 136. I thought it was
Where's the
maybe
Hawks?
it's the Caps. I can't find it now. Of course,
at?
the Hawks.
Yeah, give me the Hawks.
That's Pacific Division. Here we go. Central. Maybe they took them down. The Stars minus 182.
They heard us talking about
Chicago. Here we go. Damn, they're almost even money.
Give me that minus 102. Thank you very much.
I like that a lot.
Are you kidding me? There's no way with Taves back in Flower. They have to be a playoff. Seth Jones too. You said, Nick.
Yeah,
that's a playoff team. Come on.
Rupper, is Seth Jones that good? I see the analytics community on Twitter trying to drag him a little bit. But I mean, like, you look at the pedigree, you look at his track record. Like, I feel like a change of scenery for him, and in a situation with a lot of talented forwards, I think he can up his game.
Oh yeah, I love Seth Jones. He hasn't been great the last couple of years, but neither is Columbus. So I mean, what do you expect here out of that guy? I think he's going to go there. He's going to get some power play time. He's going to be out there on the ice with more talented players. I think you're going to see the most offensive production from him. I think with how good the D are in this league now, and how many points some of the D men get, and some of these young guys that are just absolute studs, I don't know if he's going to get into the Norris talk, but he's going to. If you extended that to 10, I think he can get in the top 10 defenseman in the league, and he'll be in all situations there. He's going to play an absolute ton, and he's capable of doing it. I love Seth Jones. This was a huge move, and he doesn't have any comparables in the league. Like, you can have guys that have better numbers than him. Okay, cool. Can they defend like him? No, they can't. And then even if a guy has good numbers and defend like him, are they 6'4"? No. His one comp in the league probably is Victor Hedman, and he's the best defenseman in the world, I think. Outside of that, I mean, this guy, the sky's the limit with Seth Jones.
That's pretty fucking good. Pretty good comp right there. This is what I was looking for earlier. The Caps at -152. I love this, and I feel like it's just enough juice to make me want to jump all over that. Like, there's no way Ovechkin's missing the playoffs. It's just not going to happen.
I can't imagine that, right?
No.
Like, I mean, Ovi, he's good. He's chasing Wayne's goal record. Like, his guy's gonna be shooting everything. They got him. That division, anything you can get juicy in that division is going to be big, because I think it's wide open. I think that division's wide open for everybody. I think the Islanders are the only guaranteed playoff team.
Hey, let's look at one or two more things here before we wrap it up.
That Columbus team's got to be in the mix for worst team this year. Right?
Number one.
Oh yeah, look at
that. What, 2,400?
Jesus.
2,400. No.
24. What does Patrick Laine do this year, Rupper? Can he do anything to bounce back, or?
It's going to be tough sledding for him. I mean, he said the right thing. He said the right thing. Said he was trash last year, and when players say that, that they're going to try to, obviously, spend some time mulling that over in the summer and get
playing
better.
Too much damn Fortnite.
Exactly, but
he's on Twitch again.
Who's he going to play with? Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's fine if you're a good player, but you need somebody, dude. You need somebody.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. I think Columbus has a boatload of picks for the next couple years. Their future is down the road. I think they end up trying to, at some point, I think they end up flipping Patrick Laine for some picks or assets. He's got to score for them to be able to do that. So I don't know how you do it. You just give it to him in the spot on the power play. He's not really a guy that generates space and opportunity for himself. He needs other guys to do that, and they don't have them there.
All right, boys, here we go. Real quick, let's run down. Give me your pick, gun to your head, season awards. Who we going with here? Is Connor McDavid taking home another Hart Trophy, plus 250?
We got Gumps. We got in that.
I got a feeling McKinnon's got a chip on his shoulder. He's pissed.
Yeah. No,
at plus 600. I mean, I know McDavid's the favorite, and for very good reason. But if I'm going to take somebody else on this list that I'm looking at, a pissed off Nathan McKinnon who wants to win, that's the only one I like here. I don't think it's the same for Austin Matthews. I really don't. I don't know what that Toronto team is. I like.
Yeah. I would be taking Matthews if it wasn't for that wrist surgery. I would have jumped all over that. Right now, honestly, I'm looking at a sprinkle on old Artemi Panarin, the bread man, because I'll be honest, I like what the Rangers did in adding a little more grit with Reeves and Gaudreau.
Speaking of the Rangers, Reeves was helped off the ice tonight.
No.
What
happened?
Yeah, he went down. I just got the notification that he was helped off the ice and left the game.
Shit. Hey, that's the other perk to us doing this live. For all you guys listening out there, we're going to do some watch-alongs this season because Wednesday night seems to be, keeping with tradition, the game of the night in the NHL. So hopefully we'll be able to watch along and bullshit with you guys in the chat while the game's going on. Having said that, Rupper, who you got here?
can you scroll down a little bit here? Because see, all those guys, like, yeah, I mean, you could take a bunch of those guys. Leon, Cooch can definitely be in the mix there. But go down to, let's see, down in Florida. So there's Ranton in there, and then right there, Jonathan Huberdeau. Look at that. Right. All I'm going to say is this. I saw that one, and what I do every year, I like looking at these things. So I'm like, we all form our own opinion, and some people do it via, the advanced stats. Some do it by the naked eye. Some combine them both, and whatever. I'm just watching this, and I'm thinking to myself, the NHL is funny with this Hart Trophy, right? Like their MVP, almost every year, there's a guy that just gets his team to the playoffs, a la Taylor Hall in New Jersey, right? There's always that guy. That's why I always thought Jack Eichel had a great opportunity. If he could ever get Buffalo into the playoffs, that guy's they wouldn't make the playoffs without Jack Eichel doing well, over the last number of years. And if they got in, he's a Hart Trophy finalist 100%. And that's what I think about here with Florida is, like, I think Florida wins that division, like I said. And the only way they win that division is if Jonathan Huberdeau and Sasha Barkov are unbelievable. I just think that Huberdeau he's the driver of offense for that team. I mean, he's the facilitator,
playmaker.
Yeah, I mean, this guy. So my point is he can go toe to toe. If Connor wins, Connor's got to be like, if the leading point getter in the league is going to just get it, he's got to kind of like run away with the score.
And they don't want to keep giving it to the same guy either, right. Rupper. That's the thing you got to think about.
So if the Florida Panthers win that division and they win a round in the playoffs and whatever, I think either Barkov or Huberdeau is going to be a Hart finalist, and because they wouldn't be in that position if those guys weren't thriving. So those are some down there that I just think, I don't know. Those are intriguing to me because they're a little off the grid, but it with the circumstances, the way the team is posed to play, I think I got a great chance.
So I just got a little update. Got a text here from CFO Phil, our guy, huge hockey fan as well. He said Subban, little slew foot on Reeves, looked pretty bad, and then Kreider ended up dropping the mitts with Subban later.
Oh, nice.
Oh, there we go.
That
rumble.
You threw some hands every once in a while. Who's the toughest guy you fought?
Toughest guy I fought was probably Jody Shelley. He was tough. He beat me all the time.
Yeah, but you had that classic line where you told him he was fucking irrelevant. Nothing he does out here matters. That was awesome.
And then I knew I had to answer to saying that a couple weeks later, and I got shelled. I played him the next game. I'm getting ready. I'm like, oh, here we go. Get my ass kicked. And I go out there, and sure enough, we fight. He beats me up, and I'm like, good, dude. We're even now. You beat me up. Cool. We all set? And like, yeah, it was all good. So he was good, really tough. And then probably Colton Orr. Colton Orr was tough.
Oh, big boy.
And then outside of that, we'll save it for another show here. I got a great fight story when I was in Pittsburgh against Dano Chara, man. It's a classic, but he was
good tease.
Yeah. Good
tease right there. All right, real quick, Art Ross Trophy. If you're not familiar, that's the top point getter in the NHL. I'm still sticking with Connor.
That's a tap-in, right? That's a tap-in, no?
Yeah.
He's healthy. He's winning that.
Rocket Richard goal for most goals scored in the league.
Hey, Rupper.
I like Boston.
What about Wing Kong, dude?
What about Wingfield and some of these things, right?
Save that because we're gonna try and get that guy on here. I need you to reach out to him.
We should get Wingfield so you can be part of the 20-goal, 400 penalty minute club. You gotta do it. Wing Kong 42. Let's go.
That guy was a fucking monster.
Legend. Fucking
Calder,
legend.
Rookie of the Year, Rupper. How we feel about Cole Caulfield, all the goal scoring hype out of Montreal, or Trevor Zegras over here with Anaheim?
I like Cole Caulfield. He's got that nice opportunity to, he had all this playoffs opportunities and success and scoring goals. This guy's going to be shooting everything on the Montreal's PP1. Like he's going to, what rookies are coming in? They're the go-to guy offensively. He's going to be that Montreal. He's got a great shot at that.
Norris, everyone's high on Cale this year. They're saying Cale Makar, this is the guy. He's going to put up a fuck ton of points. He's going to get a big deal. Or is it still Hedman's show? Or does Adam Fox finally, get it done here? Everyone was high on him last season.
I you know who I like in this is I like Charlie McAvoy. And
Okay.
that's what Gumpy said. They're like, if Boston could be good,
Yeah.
it's going to be Charlie McAvoy. He's going to be a big reason why. And he's an absolute horse what he can do out there. So Cale Makar is still the favorite. I just think that in the regular season, that team's going to put up points. They're going to be great. Cale Makar is going to be unbelievable. So I mean, he's certainly the favorite, but I would probably go with a close second, maybe there with McAvoy.
All right, last one here. Jack Adams Trophy Coach of the Year. I don't see John Cooper doing it just because Tampa's been there and it's someone else's turn now. Maybe this is Coach Q here pulling it off with Florida, making a run here. Gerard Gallant, maybe Sheldon Keefe. I don't know with Toronto. Barry Trotz. I mean, you can't knock what the guy's done. You can knock how he's done it, like I do, and say it's boring, but it's fucking effective.
The guy wins.
And Jared Bednar in Colorado. Any early favorites here from you?
What about you guys? He's not coaching the league, so he clearly can't win it. But you get my vote. How about? Do you guys see Rick Tocchet? Do you see him in the first?
Yeah.
You see him their first night on TNT when they're doing their run-throughs, and he was demoing the cross-checking in front of the net. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he just throws the skate back.
Yeah.
You just give a guy a quick fuck shot to the nads, and then you're
good. So Liam McHugh's like, well, if I cross-check your friend, well, I would do this and let my foot come up, and basically he's telling the boys and girls back home to just kick the defenseman. In the
I love talking, dude. I love talking.
He's the best.
I don't know. I still think John Cooper is probably the best coach in the league. So if they three-peat, which they got a great shot, man. This guy.
Who was the last team to do it? Who was the last NHL team to three-peat? I don't think it happened because when the Stars and the Avalanche and the Red Wings were all winning, it was like a rotation.
Yeah. So when you go back, I mean, you got to go back to the Islander days. Edmonton
was the Oilers, right?
Well, I'm trying to figure. I always mess this up, and I feel like I should know better. But you've got the four straight with the Islanders. Then it became. I feel like Edmonton.
I think it was 4 straight with Edmonton. I think, and I think they missed a year, and then I think they got it again.
Yeah,
I think.
They were out. I don't know. So
Edmonton, 84-85. Flames won it in 86.
Yeah.
So Oilers went back to back twice in the 80s, but never 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
3.
So it was the Islanders then, right?
The Islanders, yeah.
Damn.
So I mean, think about that. Like salary cap world, like this team is able. I mean. Nikita Kucherov. How about the Kucherov shirt that he was wearing to the Stanley Cup parade? Remember when he said, what was it? Everyone's saying that they're cheating, hiding them on the. He's playing it up too, but I mean, it's hard to do. It's hard to do, period, let alone in salary cap world.
Yeah. There's no salary cap in baseball. Teams spend way more money than everybody else. Yankees got knocked out last night. Shit like that.
They're finding ways around it in the NFL now too, so it's only a matter of time.
It doesn't add up.
Yeah, boys. I was gonna bring. I knew when I was coming into my buddy's office down here, we've got all the Penguin stuff, and I got some Steelers stuff back here too. So if I'm in here, I was gonna bring my my brown sweatshirt to kind of offset the bad juju in this place, but. I don't know. Maybe I should do that next time. I don't know. Sorry, Nick. I know.
Listen. I know you guys haven't won in fucking 40 years. So as a tip from someone who's seen a lot of winning, just be humble about it. Humility is the best thing you can have.
Absolutely not, because I don't even fucking know if it's going to happen or if it'll ever happen again. You know what I mean?
Don't worry, Rupper. The Dolphins are the new fucking Browns, pal.
Hey, speaking of, we're going to wrap it up here and get out of here. But if you want to go see an NFL game, see an NHL game, do it with SeatGeek. They're the best company in the world when it comes to finding tickets. They do all the hard work for you. They give you the green light in terms of, hey, this is a great fucking deal. Jump all over this now. And we got shit, that's the wrong banner. So that's,
no.
Sorry, Bill. Didn't mean to do that to you. SeatGeek, if you want tickets to an NFL game, go ahead and check out Pat's YouTube description for the Pat McAfee Show. If you want them for an NHL game, go check out the YouTube description right down here. There's a link. You can save 15% off any ticket to any NHL game you want to go to this season. We appreciate SeatGeek. Also, thank you guys so much for joining and listening to us. I think we still got a fuck ton of people in the chat, which is wild to me. It looks like looks like you guys are still popping off down there. I love it. Can't thank you enough. Did not expect this on night one. Thought it was gonna be a slow build, and it will be. We got lofty goals this season. We're going to be here all year long, but you guys are awesome. And if you want to go check out too, if you missed it, tell your friends they can download this. They can watch as a podcast. Go check us out on the podcast app or watch the replay here on YouTube. We thank you guys so much. Again, I'll let you guys say your regards as well here.
Yeah, man. No, this was it was good getting on here with you guys and kind of getting the rust out. And I'm excited for the season to start, man. I hope what you said. I hope Ryan Reeves is obviously okay, because the biggest game I'm looking forward to, night one, Washington Capitals, New York Rangers in DC.
Oh,
Ryan
let's
Reeves,
go.
Tom Wilson. Bing, bing, bing. Let's do it. Like I hope he's okay, because that's the big one. I'm looking for that. Yeah, you know what? You should use that 15% from SeatGeek for that game, because that would be a big one.
Fuck yeah.
Beautiful, Rupper. We got a big season on deck. And I think once these watch-alongs get going, I mean, there's nothing better than watching along any sport, especially hockey. And really, this is the first full season. No COVID, no bubble. Like, this is full throttle here. So this is going to be an awesome year coming up, boys.
Also, I mean, we're live. We're boozing a little bit, and we don't know what the hell we're doing with this tech, so anything could happen. So make sure you tune in every week. Rupper's going to tell some stories. He's going to get some of his friends come on. A lot of guys have played in the league, and we're going to have a good time. So appreciate it, everyone. Thank you guys so much for following along, and we'll see you next week. We'll see you Wednesday when we got some actual NHL games to talk about, not just some preseason. And that's Hockey Talk.